Perfect. Okay, so tonight we have Larry Fox. He's demonstrating for us. He's been turning for quite a while. Please stop talking in the back. In the back. Looking at you guys. Okay, thank you. All right, so Larry's demonstrating for us tonight, and he has been working with Cork and integrating it into some of his turnings for boxes and tight snap-on lidded fits. So he's going to just use this evening tonight to kind of talk about all of his tips and tricks that he has for turning cork and how to make a little box like this. So Larry, take it away.
Hey, how's that? Can you hear me? Okay. Uh, we do a lot of wood turning, right? So the wood comes from the forest. Now, you all been out in the forest one time or another. Anybody ever get lost in the forest? Yeah. Well, that happens to trees too. They wander around, they get lost sometimes in the forest. Usually it's because they take the wrong route. Okay, you want me to talk about something I know a little more about? Okay. Uh, before we get started, how many of you make your own finishes? You know, where you mix things together. All right. Part of the problem with mixing your own stuff together is how do you keep it in a container that it doesn't shrink or harden or whatever. This product, I don't sell these, but I mix my own, and this is the best product I've found for keeping finishes that you mix up. It's called Stop Loss Bag. They're advertised in the AAW magazine. Okay, it's just a little hint. It totally reduces evaporation. Yeah, and their website is stoplossbags.com. That works. That's the best thing I found for when you mix your own things, mix your own finishes, to keep it in here. Good for storing your finishes. Yeah, this one works the best. And like I say, I don't sell them or anything, but I just thought I'd pass that along. All right, tonight, what I made a lot of urns, and normally what I do is I have screw-on lids, okay? Where they screw on. This is an insert that I put in, screws on. You get a nice seal, nice finish to it. And that's what I've done for years. Pass that around. What I want you to kind of pay attention to in passing this along is how close the top is to the bottom. We're going to learn how to do that tonight. Okay? But I had a mortuary that asked me to make little tiny keepsake urns, you know, for family members. I thought, well, I can't do that. What can I use? You can make a compression fit. And the compression fit fits really good in my shop. I ship it to Florida and it doesn't fit at all. Or I made it in Florida and I come back up here and it doesn't fit at all. So after fooling around with a lot of different things, I came up with the idea of cork on a top so that you can, and I'll show you how to do the cork tonight, where it pops off, snaps on. Okay, we'll pass a couple of these around, and you get your fingernails in there to pop it off. I did that earlier with this one and broke it. That's all right. We'll pass those around. We'll get a couple over here going that direction. And these right here, if you get your fingernails in there, fine. If not, you can do it with your thumbs. Okay? We'll pass a couple of those around so everybody gets a good look at them. And you can go back and forth if you want, or across the aisle. Go back and forth on each side, go to the end. All right. Then I think we'll have enough time. I'm going to show you about turning cork other than just for a lid. Now, those of you that get the AAW magazine, a couple of months ago, they had a extensive article in there about cork. And I found it really fascinating. Since I've been using cork in small projects for a long time, I went ahead and ordered a piece. And I'm going to leave these two pieces with the club that you can raffle off or do whatever you want with. This was just one I was experimenting with and whatnot, but somebody can make something out of that. It's already ready to be chucked up. Okay. And as far as the expense of cork, buying thick cork like this, like that article in the magazine said, it comes in a block 2 foot by 3 foot, 6 inches thick, 24 inches, 36 inches, 6 inches thick. It costs $240, which sounds like a lot, which it is. But a piece like this is 10 bucks. Okay, so you break it down, it's a little economical. But anyway, we'll get into this turning cork at the end. But to start with, I notice a lot of people wear shorts. I like to wear them as long as I can.
I do too. They go down my hair.
Yeah. Okay. To keep from getting wood chips and everything in my shoes, I have these little socks that I had with Velcro on them on the back. So we'll put those right here and they'll keep my nice white socks nice and white. Another little hint for what? Yes. I forgot. I meant to look at that article before I came today, and I forgot the type of tree where cork comes from. I forget the name of the tree. Most of them are in Portugal. I remember that. But what happens to these trees is they grow a bark about 2 inches thick, and it's cork on the inside of that bark. So 1 9/10 of it is cork, and then a bark on the outside. What they do is once that cork gets 2 inches thick, they peel that bark off of the tree, and then the tree grows a new bark, a new cork bark. And that's where cork comes from. It's all compressed. It's all compressed. And they have both a hard compression and a soft compression. This is the hard compression. It's somehow what kind of medium they use to glue it together, I don't know. But that's what it is. It's all compressed together. Pardon me? No, it's I don't know. Yeah, very good. Touche. All right. When I'm turning at home, normally I wear a 3M gas mask because I do a lot of gluing, and this will filter out both fumes and particulates. I always wear that. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable to start with, but I've been using it for years and years, actually decades, and I'm very comfortable wearing it. I also wear a face shield for safety. And one time I was turning a piece of juniper and got a big piece of juniper, got a catch in it. It broke off the lathe. I had my face shield on. It did, and my gas mask, it did hit my face shield against my head. I got 10 inches of stitches up here. But if I had not had it on, it would have hit my whole face. So I can't overemphasize safety, and that's what I use. Tonight, I won't wear those so you can hear me talk. But what I will wear is safety glasses. Okay. So I'll take these guys off. And that's just, I'm sure all of you know these things and are aware of them, but I like to reemphasize. I want to turn for a long time, and protecting my lungs and my face, my fingers is a good idea. Okay. Let's start with the cork. Where do we get it? Those big pieces, let me put it up here, because as far as I know, there's only one place to get it. And it is, what do we have here? We have any markers? Yep, over there. Okay. This is the name of the place. It's oh, whoops. And their website is all right, that's who sells those big chunks of cork, if anybody's interested. What I'm going to mainly use tonight are small pieces. This is I'm going to use this for one of them. It's just a little piece of cork. I bought this at IKEA. Okay, I don't remember how much it was. It came in a pack of 3. All right. And that's about a little over 1/4 inch thick, maybe 3/8 inch thick. All right. What I'm going to use mainly tonight, I'll use this for one of the larger pieces I want to make. The smaller pieces, those small pieces I passed around, I'm going to use this cork. And it comes from, I bought it from Amazon. Okay. Comes in a package. It's pretty cheap. They also sell it with an adhesive backed. The adhesive is pretty good. I don't generally use it because it doesn't, I got a better way of building up my cork than sticking it with adhesive, but you may find that useful for something. They come in different thicknesses, and like I say, mainly I buy them from Amazon. Okay. The first thing we're going to do tonight is I have this. You can use cork for large pieces also if you want. This is a larger demonstration piece I made. We'll make a top for this tonight. And I want to do that to start with so that it'll be easier for you to see what's going on. And then after this, we'll make some of the smaller pieces, okay? But we'll do a larger piece to start with, just so you can see better on the video. Okay. I'll put on a check here. Also, where'd my glove go? Right here. I wear a glove with the fingers out, again, to protect my fingers, and I don't need it on this necessarily, but I'm comfortable with it. All right. I turn this ahead of time for that lid, just to cut down on our time here. Just so you know, I marked my lathe here with an X, and then I marked my piece so that I can put it back in there in the same place that it came out of. And with any luck, let's see, turn that on. It'll spin true, and it is. Okay. All right. I also, for the demo, I went ahead and pre-cut this out of that thicker stuff that I bought from IKEA. Okay. I just cut it on a bandsaw just to cut down on the time. When we do the smaller pieces, I'll actually cut them out with the scissors. And I'm gonna, okay. So let's get, what I got from IKEA, I don't know, but it seems like it's pretty hard. Yeah, it does. Because the soft version is pretty spongy. So it appears that it is. However, let me pass it around. Yeah, actually, let's just pass both of these things around. Pardon me? For the harder. Yeah. Let's just break this in half so that you can see. It seems to me that those pieces from IKEA were a little larger pieces, but maybe not. Yeah, maybe not, but that's what I use. Okay. First thing we're going to do here with this top, we're going to go ahead and just flatten it here. Okay. Okay. Got it flat. All right. Next step is to measure the diameter of our hole. Okay. Going to be like that. And then I'm going to go a little bit larger than that. How much larger? A little bit. Okay. All right. Okay, then we're going to find the center here. Now, when you do this with a caliper like this, always just use the left side. Always just touch the left side, never the right side. And start in where you know it's smaller. If you start in where it's bigger and you work your way in, then you have those lines on the outside where you don't want it. Okay? So, start in where I know it's smaller, and then I'll work my way out. Look at that. I made it a little too big. I did the wrong thing, but it's okay in this instance. All right. First thing we're going to do, this is one of those secrets, okay? So pay attention. This gets the asterisk beside it. How we get that fit, our lid to fit on, so you can hardly even get a piece of paper in there. How do you do that? This is how you do it. We're going to cut a recess here. And how much of a recess? A little bit. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch, okay? Or so. I'll come back to here. A 1/16 of an inch or so. And again, just to remind you, the purpose of, I'm going to use a little bigger piece now so that I can keep this flat. Again, the purpose for this is how we get that snap on top to fit right against the shoulder of our box or urn, whichever you're making. Okay. this is how you do it. So this is our start. Okay, I want this flat across here, about a 1/16 of an inch deep. How can I measure it? I just have a straight edge. Put it up against there. Take a little bit more off the outside. All right, let's see how that goes. Here more. Another reason I have that glove, I can stop that thing. All right, that's pretty flat. Okay. Next step. And again, this is for how we get that lid to fit down real tight. We're going to bevel from the outside down to the bottom of that 16-inch thing that I cut in there. Okay. A straight cut. You can curve it a little bit if you want, but a straight cut is good enough. You don't have to get carried away. All right, now is the time to sand this, because that's going to be exposed. That's outside of our where our cork is. And I can start with 220 here. Well, actually, what I brought to sand, so we might as well use it. We'll start with some 220 here. We'll run it backwards. Okay. And then we'll go with some 320. Get around the edge a little bit so it's not a sharp edge. And then 400. Around that edge. Now you notice I had the lathe running one direction and my sander running a different direction, the opposite direction. All right. That looks good. Okay. Next, we're going to glue this on. Oh, first of all, before I glue it on, I'm going to take a little mixture of sanding sealer. This is lacquer sanding sealer and lacquer mixed 50-50. Okay. 50% sanding sealer, 50% lacquer thinner. And the reason I do 50-50 rather than using the sanding sealer full strength is it takes too long to dry. Now it'll dry right away when it's mixed 50-50. We'll put that around there so that when I glue that piece of cork on there, I don't stain the wood. Okay. Usually I have an air hose. I just blow that. It's dry enough. If you use it full strength, it stays tacky or wet or it gets sawdust on it or whatever for quite a while. You mix it 50-50, dries right away. All right. To glue the cork in there, I'm going to use medium CA glue. I happen to use Star Bond. I think they're a really good one. I've used Stick Fast. I've used I've used actually all of them. I use Star Bond because they give you these cutesy little things. Here, I don't know. You all may not know about these. They'll pass them around. They give you those little nozzles, and they're wonderful. Yes, right. Yeah, no, I saw that last month. Yeah. or I know you've bought from Starbond a number of times. And Starbond gives you these things, and they work super well, super well. I don't ever put the lid on my super glue. I just leave those little nozzles on there. All right, I'm going to use medium, and I'm going to spray, put the medium glue on the cork. If I use thin, it would pretty well soak right in right away. So I use medium, but I want to spray, so I'll spray the wood there. Let's just mix this stuff. Are you all seeing this okay? Okay. Yes. And that's an accelerator. We'll spray that on there. And then I want to get this somewhere close to the center. Okay. That will be close enough. Okay. And that's pretty much stuck in there pretty good. If you're uncertain about that being stuck enough, no problem. Just come along the edge and put some thin CA glue along the edge. Okay. Push it down good. Spray that. Aerosol spray comes in a pump thing. The accelerator comes in a pump thing or an aerosol. I use the aerosol because I use a lot of it. And I won't say I'm impatient, but I'm pretty impatient. Okay. All right. Now, let's see how we do. We're going to make it to fit this. Okay, that's too big for that. So let's just start. On cutting cork, our regular wood turning tools work. They all work. Turn this. Hopefully I didn't get that too far off center. All right. We'll check it again here. Nope. All right. We'll cut it down a little more. And then I'm going to bevel the end of it here. That will permit me to go on a little bit. Okay. All right. That gives me the idea of we don't need to go that fast. All right. Oh, darn it. You ever done that? One more cut is too small. Okay. At that point, what do? We can take this off and start over if we want. Or we can do this. Take some medium CA glue and come around the edge here. Okay. Whoops, I should have had that turned on there so it doesn't run off. Okay. Let's put a little more medium CA glue on that. Okay. Now, let's cut a little bit of that off. It could be a little wet there yet. It is. We'll just go like this. All right. Now, let me just cut that down a little bit here. Get rid of some of that glue that's against the lid. And let's see what we look like now. Still too loose. Okay. No problem. Let's just take this guy off. always shut off the lathe when you move the tool rest, right? If you say that out loud, you don't have to. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and just take this off. All right, and start over. Not a problem. Should we use the thinner cork this time? Let's do. Let's see about what size I need here, and we'll do it a different way this time. This I think is about 3 inches. Yeah, so we'll go a little over 3 inches. Oh, sure. I'm just going to measure about a 3 1/4 inch piece here. Okay. And then we'll just take a scissors and cut that. All right. And then we need another piece about that size. I meant to do that, but not this early on. Okay, we'll just round this off. Cuts nicely with the scissors. Okay. All right. And we'll go back to the same thing. Spray that, put a little medium CA glue on here. The what? No. I've always just bought it from Amazon or like I say IKEA. I bought it at IKEA because I didn't know where to buy it. And then I thought, well, Amazon has everything. And so I got it from Amazon. All right. We want a thicker piece than the thickness of this. No problem. We'll just glue, put some more CA glue on here. Spray that. Oops, it's running off on my fingers. And glue it on. Hold that for just a few seconds. All right, now, as you can see, we've got a way bigger piece and my fingers glued together than what we need. All right, so let's start all over again. Now, how long did that take from the time I screwed up the first one to the time I'm ready to go again? 3, 4 minutes? Yeah. Oh, come back. Come back. All right, how are we doing? Oh, we got plenty of room. We won't mess this one up. All right, bevel the bottom there, and let's see how we're doing. Okay, that's pretty close. All right, we're close. So what we'll want to start with when we get close is take some thin CA glue and just put it all along the top here on the outside. What that will do is harden that cork a little bit. So when I go to cut it now, it's going to cut more smoother. Okay. That guy's pretty darn close also. I'm getting really close. So we're going to put some glue around the outside. What the glue will do, I got a piece there. This is a good one. I like it when all the demonstrations, everything goes wrong. Well, yeah, because now, can you see this in here? My bottom piece, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a little nick in there. I didn't get that. I didn't make it big enough, or I didn't get it centered right. So there's a hole in there. Okay. Just take some cork, put it right in there, pack it down, just like we do when we fill a void. Give it some thin glue. And since this cork is all compressed anyway, you don't know. That's like gluing it together. You might see a seam there, but if you weren't looking for it, you probably wouldn't. All right, let's go ahead and clean that off a little bit. Okay, let's see how our fit is. Aha. It was a little loose before. Now it's a little too tight. What I did primarily was I put some medium glue around it and build it back up with some glue. All right. Now let's get that just a little. Try not to go too small this time, okay? That's pretty good. Okay. Pretty good hair loose, but so I'm going to just do that again. Let me turn it off because I want to do something else here. I want it pretty snug. That'll work. All right. On all of those pieces I passed around, if you'll notice on the inside, the top of my urn or box comes to not quite a point there, but it's pretty thin right at the top. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First of all, let's call a box or an urn. Okay, has a top, something like this. Okay. All right, our top is a little rounded here. So our lid, when we started, our lid was straight across. All right, then what we ended up doing, let's see. Okay, is there a darker one? Can you see that? There. Okay, what we did, remember we recessed this a little bit here. and then beveled that down. Okay. All right. Then our cork is right here. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take and put a little indent here. I don't know if you can see that or not. The marker. Okay, let's go bigger here. Everybody got this? Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. Our lid was like this. Then we came in and made a little curve there and then a straight across. All right. Our cork sits down here. And what I'm going to do is make a little indent here, like that. Just a little indent. So that will snap into that, the top piece. Okay. Now I want that, I can look down the edge. I can look across here and I want that indent to come out so that when I look across, I can see the edge of that indent. All right, so I'm looking across here. I can pretty much see it. Let's see how it fits. Nope, too loose. Way too loose. Okay, well, let's try something different. Let's put, now we do this with our, get some stuff here. Let's build it up. Okay. Put a little glue on it. Put a little more on here. The point I'm trying to make here is that in doing this, you can fix about every mistake that you can make. Okay. Make it too big, make it smaller. Make it too small, we can make it bigger. Part of the beauty of working with cork. And this is part of what I've always tried to do with lids, is that, gosh darn it, every time you get it just about right and you make one more cut, what happens? You got to start over. Okay, here, no, I'm not going to start over. I already started over once. Okay, spray all that. Let's cut this down a little bit. Let's see where we're at now. Oh, way too big. That's good. I might cut it with this guy here. Too small. Let's just try the glue business here. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're ready for another group buy on this glue. Okay. Too small. Let's do that one more time. Let's do. You might get tired of me watching me do this, but the like I say, the point is that you can mess up and keep on going. I could take that off and start over again, but you've already seen that. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. For the third time. Way too big. Getting close. So let's go ahead and make that little indent. I am going to put a little thin CA glue all around the top here to harden that up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to clean off my top, the top of my lid. Okay. Clean the glue off of the back side of it. And we're going to just clean it up right like that. Take a little sandpaper. Make sure that isn't so sharp there. Okay. And make sure again where we're at. Okay. Going to make that little indent now. This is just a small spindle gouge, fingernail grind on a small spindle gouge. And I'm just going to make a, let's see how that goes. Some days go like this. Let's try this one more time here. I will say I usually don't have this much trouble, but I am having it. See what that looks like. I'm not getting this guy at all. The thing would be to start over at this point. Would you like me? How much? Where are we at? 7:50. Oh, we got plenty of time. Let's do it over. Okay. Let's just do it over. This guy got too small. Okay, actually, somebody time me. So when when you have a lid that doesn't fit and you have to start over making your lid, it takes quite a while. Somebody time how long it take. Here, I'll do it right here. Okay, all right. See how long it takes for me to get back to that point that I was. Okay. Cut this guy. Get some of this out of my way here. We're going to go 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And we'll take and cut 2 pieces of this. There. And there. Cut another one here. Okay. Round this off a little bit. Spray that guy up. Some glue on here. Spray him once again. Hold that right down for a second. Make the other piece. Round him off a little bit. Some glue on here. Spray him one more time. Glue it back up. Hold that down pretty good. Put a little glue right in the center there just to make sure those 2 pieces are glued together real well. Okay. All right, now round him off a little bit. Okay, we're basically back to where we were. How long did that take? 3 minutes. Okay, now, not too bad. All right, let's see if I can make this work 3 times. Okay, we're plenty big, no problem. All right, we're getting close here. Could do that. I could do that. Let's see, tighten that down. They're pretty much what I thought. I'm on the outside edge here. That's where it's at. So I've got a little bit on the inside here, not much. So, oh, actually what I'm going to do here is go ahead. This will help. I didn't do this before. Go ahead and harden this up. Put CA glue on it. That will harden that up. so that I won't be taken off too much. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and try that little indent there. Okay, we're pretty close. So I'm going to again put CA glue on the outside here. Just to harden that wood. And now, instead of using my tool, I'm just going to go ahead and sand it. Okay, we're getting close. And closer. Okay. All right. Now, part of this, what we can do, I glued those two pieces together. Well, let's say we don't want that lid to be that thick. All right, we can just go ahead and take some of that off. Make him a little thinner lid. Getting real close here. I may have to take just I don't believe me. I don't believe me. Let's see. What? You'd think I'd never done this before. I'm not doing this one anymore. Move on. My apologies. That last cut there, I should have kept using the sandpaper. All right, what we're going to do is move on to a smaller piece here. Okay. That's one thing. I don't know when I put this on, I turned it on by hand. But in taking it off, I can use the reverse on the lathe and take it off. Okay, and that's safe. All right, what we're going to do, I've got let's go on to these small urns rather than messing with that guy. You're done. I made some small pieces. At home, I would have a vacuum chuck, and I put this on a vacuum chuck, but not everybody has a vacuum chuck. So what we can do is take this is regular double stick carpet tape. All right. I made a little piece here where it's got a little indent in it. We'll put some double stick carpet tape over that. Peel it off. Then we can put our piece on there, turn the lathe on, and get it to where it's on there straight. I'll put my my tool rest right up against there until I get that it is moving pretty straight. That's pretty good. Okay. We got double stick tape there. Then I'm going to take just some where'd it go? Right here. Regular tape. And I'll just tape that on. Okay. Oh, I got plenty here. Tape that on. That guy's pretty smooth. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and do that little indent. Make him straight on across. All right, let's measure that hole. What size we want here. Okay, and a little bit bigger. Okay, that's pretty close. All right. We'll cut this down. About 1/8 of an inch. I mean, excuse me, 1/16 of an inch. Try to get that smooth across there. Move that up just a hair. Okay. Okay. I have a little something here to see how flat that. I think that's going to be too big. Nope. That's pretty flat. Okay. I might go a little bit deeper though. There, I like that better. Okay. Now we'll bevel that edge. Always shut the lathe off when you move the tool rest. Bevel this down a little bit. Right to that bottom. Okay. Then we needed a piece of here. We had our size already here marked out. I think that will be about right there. A bit shorter than that. Okay, and we'll get another piece. Round it off a little bit. Spray this guy. Put on some medium CA glue. Spray him one more time and stick it on. Putting them in the center. They're pretty much in the center. All right, we're going to put two pieces on here. Spray that up. Stick him on. Put a little right down, thin stuff right in that seam. Okay. Now, let's do this without making him too small. Okay. That's plenty thick. Don't need him that thick. So I'll just take some of it off. All right. I want to measure it with the calipers. Let's get the better measurement here, more precise. And see where we're at. Oh my gosh, we've got lots of room. Let's see. Let's see if we can't do this one without having a little more success, okay? Okay, we get closer. Now I'm going to put a little thin glue around the outside here, again, to harden that up, and hopefully I won't take too much off. Okay, closer. All right, let's go to a little sand. Yeah. You could. Yep. And I've got a parting tool here that we could use that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to sanding this guy instead of. Well, I tell you, he just. Uh, Okay, we're gonna be all right. Bevel that a little bit. Sand him a little more. We're looking good. All right, we're going to put that little, I have a little parting tool, but I'm going to use this. Okay, and we're going to put a little glue on that to harden that up. Okay, we can build that up now just a little bit. We'll build him up a little bit. And we'll clean the glue off of the back side here. That didn't sound very good. Oh. Let's sand him a little bit. That looks pretty good to me. That off and see what we got here. Was that the right noise? Okay, we'll pass that around. What? And now I would put this, I've got a small chuck that you could put that in a chuck and finish the lid. Okay. There you go. Yes, you could put that in and finish the lid that way. Shall I do it? Okay. How are we doing? We're doing fine on time here. Again, I can take that off. I would never turn this on while I'm screwing it on. Because once it hits and you have your hand in there, it's going to grab your hand. But coming off, I can do it. Okay. And I have a mark here of where I originally had this on. Let's see how it spins. Oh my gosh, look at that. It spins true. All right. What I'm going to do here, though, rather than just going right at that, because I could spin the lid. All right. That could happen. So what I'm going to do is I have a little piece here. These little things, you can screw them on the end here of your tailstock. These come from a company in Florida called Rubber Chucky. Rubber Chucky. And they make all kinds of cutesy little things that work really well that, you wouldn't think of or hard to find. It screws on, but this one I've taken on and off so many times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that up against that lid to start with, so that he is on there tight. And you notice that thing isn't on square, but it's really okay because it's rubber. Okay. So I'll get the majority of the lid with that little piece up there. And I'm just going to take little bites. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the rest of it. Ah, that was a little too much. So we're going to stop that. And we're going to do this. We'll just sand him. Right here. We'll just take a little sanding here. Probably should have just done it that way in the end anyway. All right, I know you don't want to do a lot of sanding here, so I won't do a lot of sanding. See how we're doing. There you go. All right. You see me do that 4 times now, 3 misprints. And that one, I brought another one. I could make another one of those if you want, or if you want, I could go ahead and show you some things about turning cork. Okay, that's what we'll do. All right. As we've got about a half hour here. Okay, I'm going to just put a flat piece up here because what we'll do, we'll make a little bowl out of this guy. Here, this came out of the inside of this. All right. We'll make a little bowl out of this. Let's put him here in approximately the center. Pretty close. I could take that piece off, but I'm going to leave him on for right now. All right, we can use our regular tools on cork. This is just a regular bowl gouge. You notice I keep the lathe going and going forwards and backwards. All right, I don't know what the manufacturer of Powermatic says about that, but I had a Powermatic A, like what Vinny is selling, for 21 years. And I used to reverse backwards and forwards with the lathe going and never had a problem. I have a 21 lathe like this, the C model now. Same one as this. And I do the same thing. I will reverse speeds while it's running, and it hasn't caused a problem. Like I say, I did it with the A model for 21 years. Okay, what we want to do, first of all, we want to make a little tendon here, as we can do that. A little indent here. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I did. One thing I'm going to do here first, before I put that in a chuck, is again, I'm going to use some CA glue and go around the outside here and just harden that up a little bit. Okay. Just so that it isn't quite so spongy. When I put it in the chuck. All right. Okay. Fairly true. All right. We're just going to hollow this out like that. Just like we would any other just like we would any other bowl. Cuts very nicely. Notice how I'm holding my bowl gouge. I took a week-long course with David Ellsworth up in Snowmass, and I was doing this to a bowl, and he came over without saying a word. He took my right arm and moved it out here. This is how I should be holding it. Okay? You got way more control out here than you have in here. All right? The reason I didn't do that is this guy here is kind of in the way, but yeah. Thank you. All right. That looks like give me a pretty good bottom. Let's bevel this edge a little bit. Okay. Let's see how deep we really are here. We're fine. Okay, that's deep enough. All right, that's our roughed out piece. We cannot get it any smoother than that with our tool. So what we use is a little sandpaper. And I know we don't want to do a lot of sanding, but I'll show you how fast this sanding of this goes. I'm going to start with a 180. Done with 180. Okay. I'll go to a 220. And this is a rounded mandrel. These rounded ones, I buy from, oh, there you go. Rounded mandrels and the flat ones like this. I buy from Vince's Wooden Wonders. He has a lot of mandrels, both 3-inch and 3 3/8 inch is what these are. 3 3/8 inch. And these are the cheapest ones I know of. They 3 3/8 inch, they're about 25 cents a piece. And it seems like those 3-inch ones are 30 or more anymore. The name of the website is let me double check that because it's kind of a strange name. Okay. Wood and yeah. Wood N. Yeah. Wonders. Vince's, an S, Wood, the letter N, wonders.com. There's a lot of cool stuff and reasonably priced. Okay, we did a 180. We're going to do a 220. And again, I know you don't do much sanding here, so we're not going to do much sanding. And that's all that takes. Well, what I'm getting at is cork, you don't want to overdo it. Okay. And that was a 320. We'll do a 400. That's pretty good. Might hit that. That's pretty good. All right. That's all it takes. Let's do the backside. Again, I'll put this little this is what I use for on my vacuum chuck, but it works for good for a jam chuck. I could have done that. Yes, I have the same thing at home. It works really well. All right, we'll just jam it back up here. If we can't get him, well, that's pretty good. See, I do get lucky once in a while. Not so much. I use that big piece. I don't normally do big pieces like that. I use that big one so you could see it better. Well, so much for that. Uh, okay. Let's put a little feature in here just to give that a little something, a little interest. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. I'm presuming I'm going to have enough. All right. That's really all we do when turning it. we'll go back to sanding. And again, we'll keep this sanding to a absolute minimum. All right. Yes, that one piece there, that bowl there, there's 2 wire burns in that. What happens when you burn it with a wire is that the wire goes in quicker than it actually burns. So it's kind of you don't really get the effect that you're looking for. Okay. All right, and that inside piece, just going to do him by hand. Whoops, I want to go the other way. It's going to do him by hand. And the bottom. Let me take a little more off that bottom before I we're on that. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. We'll do some 400 here. Now, let's just take that off of there. I'll take a little bit of this. Okay. There's a cork bowl. Oh, yeah. Okay. What you can use CA glue. Yeah. Yeah, you put CA glue on it. Tell you what, I'll put it around the rim here and you can see what that's like. Where'd it go? Where'd my no, I had a little bottle here. What happened to it? Huh. Oh, here it is. I'll put it right around the edge, and then you can get a pretty good idea what CA glue does. And you don't put a lot on, so it's not like you're going to use a whole bottle of glue. Because I just noticed the other day, the price of CA glue is cutting up there. Again, to answer the question though, what I did on that bowl and that urn is it's a combination of a mixture of 2 parts tung oil and 3 parts wipe on poly. And I put that on yesterday and it just overnight. We do that. Now, without sanding it, I want to spray that though. Without sanding that, let's do this. Let me sand half of it. And then you be the judge of what you like better. Here's a 320. Let's take a marker here and we'll just come like this. Where the arrow is the sanded. That was 3. I meant to use 4. Where is the 4? Right there. There you go. So Cork, in other words, is pretty easy to work with. And I did this, this has CA glue on it because I wanted that lid to be pretty tight. And I didn't want it to chip. So I did put CA glue on that. And then I did put that mixture of tung oil and sanding sealer on top of it. But I used CA glue first. And I think doing this inside and out, I think I used about a half bottle of CA glue, which might be $12 or so. Okay. Any questions? No, just the CA glue around there. Yeah, this is here. Yeah, yes, it was. Well, actually, it was a little parting tool. It's just a little parting tool. It's a little wider than normal parting tool. One Way had these things on sale for like $10 a number of years ago, and I bought a whole bunch of them because they are a little wider, and so I use it for a lot of different things. Vinny. Yes. On here, what I did, and this is that little thin design that I have here, and I used a whole bunch of different things, trying to experiment with what worked best. And what I found worked best was black CA glue. Yeah. And it's black CA glue. And what you do is you spray it with sanding seal, well, cut the lines, and you cut any design. You cut it with a wood burners thing. And so you get a little deep groove in there. Put CA glue in, or spray it first so the CA glue doesn't bleed. Okay, stay in your lines, and you put it in, and you might have to put 2 or 3 coats. and spray it between each coat. All right, that worked the best. I did turquoise here, and turquoise worked okay, but it doesn't show up very well. This greenish one here is sand. Okay, colored sand. That worked okay, and it shows up all right. The white is white CA glue. Okay. I had some jet that I used. I put that in there. That didn't work very well because it bled all over when you sanded it. So it stained all around. But like I say, the turquoise worked, sand worked, CA glue worked. Okay. And yeah, you asked me about burning. These are burnt with a wire. But what happens is you end up getting a deep groove there, and a string or a cord. Maybe I used guitar strings is what yeah, wire. Yeah. Those laminates, that could work. I mean, what I'm saying is there's a lot of experimentation that you can do with cork that it's and I only knew about little pieces of cork like this until I read that article in the AAW, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, maybe for pet urns, this is about as big a piece as you can get, unless you took two pieces and glued them together, which I don't see why you couldn't do. I have not done that yet, but I don't see why you couldn't. But out of the 2 foot by 3 foot by 6 inch block, this is about as big an urn as you can get. And I thought, well, maybe some people would like pet urns for, you know, totally natural material. So like I say, I'll leave these with you, and somebody, we can maybe do something with that. But what I found is that, you know, for a small little piece, cork is really economical to use, and you get a, you know, you get that good tight fit, unless you don't. Because the thing is people with I've sold a lot of urns, and one of the biggest concerns about urns is they don't want the ashes to spill. And it's a huge concern. Yeah. The inserts, they're made by Milo Scott, who lives in Monument. And let's see, just a minute, I'll give you his address here. They're a little expensive, but considering you're going to sell the urn for several $100s, they're not that expensive. They're about $7 to $15. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here's his email is Milo at Milo Scott.com. Okay. And he sells those inserts. And one of the things about the inserts is that there's a little trick to it. Milo will send you the instructions. But when you cut the lid off of your body, you're able to put those inserts in so that when you spin the lid around, it will always come up exactly matching the bottom. There's a little trick to that, but Milo gives you an instruction sheet on how to make that happen. Okay. All right. Apologize for not that big one, but the little ones is what I'm really good at.